Hello friends, welcome to this live session, live tutorial about business, and today we are talking about the future of customer experience. Why this customer experience is such an important subject? Simply because your entire business is woven around customer experience, and therefore the customer experience that your company provides is going to determine whether you're going to succeed as a business person, your company is going to succeed as a business person in the changing paradigm. So I will share a lot of ideas with you, and by the way, I'm live. You can post your comments and suggestions as we speak. All right, let's proceed to what is we are talking about. We are talking about the customer experience and what you need to do in order to stay ahead of the competition. And friends, as you know that the this is 2023 and the things are changing extremely rapidly, more rapidly than as in the last decade. Therefore, the changing paradigm in terms of customer acquisition and customer retention are changing drastically. So therefore, kindly listen to what I'm going to tell you, because this may give you some ideas in order to improve your business, improvise new technologies, new techniques in order to create a customer experience which your customer basically appreciate and relish about. All right, so the agenda for our discussion would be, basically there are five key subjects that we are going to talk about, which is importance of customer experience in today's marketplace. Definitely I have given you the brief on that. Latest trend in customer experience, how to use technology to personalize the customer experience, how to create customer-centric culture, and number 5 is how do you measure the effectiveness of your customer experience. Because when it comes to sales and marketing, everything is quantifiable, everything has to be measured, whether it is sales, because it's completely number driven. So sales guys will have sales target, marketing guys will have marketing target. So everything, whatever the company does, has to be quantifiable, has to be can be measured, etc. So these are the 5 items that we are going to talk about today, and we'll share a lot of ideas that I have come across, and also some of these ideas are implemented on our own website. When we engage with our customers, many of these ideas which I'm sharing with you are already available on our website. All right, let's proceed further. A brief introduction on Akulmach Technologies. We specialize in working with the small and medium enterprises. We provide them smart solutions so that the SMEs and startups can actually excel in their business. They can actually sell better, faster. So for more information, you can actually visit our website or set up a meeting with us. We can give you all the information. So and I'm the head of sales for Akulmach Technologies, and I'm presenting this tutorial to you today. So kindly feel free to ask any questions which are related to this subject. So the first item on the list is personalization. You see, when customer deals with you, how well you are able to address customer queries is part of the personalization. So personalization of customer requirement, customer need is very important in terms of customer engagement. And if you say that, okay, I don't know you, and if you give this kind of impression to the customer feel kind of strange, or may not be associated with you on in a very deep connection. So the whole idea of a business is to establish a deep connection with your customer, and therefore the first item on the list is you should actually upfront capture their expectations and preferences. For example, if your customers, if you can address them with their first name and last name, which is basic. If you have a customer, you should actually remember their first name and last name. But then if you also remember what kind of software they use, how many employees they have, what is the kind of turnover they have, what is their marketplace, where they are exactly selling, whether online or in premise, the kind of clientele they have, the kind of customer profile they have. Also some of the personal information also, I mean their birthdays, etc., just in case they have a certain preferences, if you are able to capture that also. Now suppose you have 100 customers, it's very easy to remember all your 100 customers. However, if your customers are above 500, then it is not possible to retain all this complex information in your mind. You would need a sort of a software or a system which will actually help you gather this, and it should be seamless. So remember, the customer like and appreciate if you remember him or her, if you remember him or her preferences. So as the customer walks in to your premise, you're able to provide them a personalized attention. Now it doesn't mean that the person has to walk into your premise. The walk-in can, in today's context, walk-in can happen on your website. Walk-in can also happen over the phone or through an app. So in fact, I will share more information on this aspect. How do you centralize the personalization? But I think this is one thing which is very, very important, very critical, to personalize your customer interactions as a business. And then, obviously you will be able to do it through certain software, through certain analytics, and your employees will find it easy to access this information, and your employee training has to be provided by you as a business leader, that you should know how to provide that personalization to your customers as they walk in. Because your employees, if somebody is talking to your customers over the phone, what are the words that people will have to use in order to create a more personalized orientation to your client, personalized address to your client. So all of that is part of the education system, as part of your learning and development of the within the company, where your employees also live in the same ethos. And once that is achieved, then all of these concepts can be rolled out across all systems, whether the customer comes in premise, whether the customer comes on the website or through an app or through telephone. So you are providing a uniform personalization to your client. So that is very important. Think about it. So these two aspects are the starting point of creating a enhanced customer experience. And we will tell you why it is important in the subsequent sections. However, if you have any questions, feel free to send it across, especially on this subject. Moving on, the integration of all this personalization must be seamless. From the customer standpoint, they should not feel that the system within your business are not interconnected. For example, if there are two products your business is offering, and haven't given all the information, or one product team has already captured all the information about the customer, it should not happen that the other team has to redo the whole thing again. And this is a basic example, but then it can be very granular. So once the customer information is captured, it should remain constant across all areas within your organization, which most of the business are offering, but then there are a lot of integration required in this to enable this. And by integrating, you are actually rolling out your customer management module across all different businesses. So it actually helps you in order to save your employee cost also, if you are able to use some system and offer this as an overall layer of managing your customer. So the important part is that the interaction with the customer must be seamless. Next is, in today's world, the customer themselves are reaching out to you. Once the customer has been signed up, once the customer is already using your services, after that you don't need sales people to handle the customers. So customer will have to engage with you over a telephone, over an app, or through some sort of website. So customers are coming back to you, and you are actually looking at how you can provide better customer engagements. So therefore, customers themselves can jump around from point A to point B, and they don't want to see any change when they jump around on different options. Say, for example, if you're selling 2 products or 3 products, multiple products on your website, the customer is already signed up. The customer is already having a customer ID on one of the product. But then, you are also providing conversions for other products also. What is stopping this customer to buy another product from your company? So in order to ensure that your customer personalization has to be constant across all product, whether the customer is coming through an app or through a website or even in premise. So therefore, the integration should be seamless from the customer point of view. And customer expectation is also that customer don't want to talk to people unnecessarily, because if they have a small requirement, if they can actually go and close the deal directly on the website, they prefer that. And if they don't get the adequate service levels, then there could be challenges. And then what happens is that if the customer has to talk to somebody, then there could be a chance of lost opportunity. So in today's world, how quickly you can convert a customer is very important, and this personalization integration across all company-wide system is very important. And therefore we talk about the omni-channel customer marketing, omni-channel customer experience, etc. When we say omni-channel, the omni-channel also includes the social media platforms, because today business are also hosted on the social media platforms. So it's not only website, it's app, but also on the social media. So your customer can come from anywhere, from any country. For instance, if you have a multilingual website, because if there is some commodity which is used by almost everybody, and you are English speaking person, your website is also English, but then you're losing out an opportunity on non-English countries. For example, Spanish, Chinese, French, Portuguese. These are the large customer bases where you can find customers. However, none of you speak those languages, and to learn those languages, it's a long learning curve, because you need to then change your staff. In fact, you have to duplicate your staff in order to cater to those clients. However, in today's world, you can actually create a multilingual personalization experience, where by just clicking on one button on the website, the language and the website changes completely to a totally different language. So customers are now expecting your company to be hosted on an omni-channel experience, on an omni-channel environment, where it doesn't matter how you're reaching out to the customer or how the customer is reaching out to you, they should get the constant experience. And the language conversion must happen instantly, without any transparency to the customer. That means seamlessly, customer should be able to access your services without any hitch. So now we have handled the questions related to why personalization is important, but then how does this personalization help you in terms of better engagement? And that is the topic of our discussion in this section. So first is, the customer wants to be entertained while engaging. So if you say that, look, I have XYZ services, and it's very, very common, and there is nothing great about it, and you say that, look, as long as you pay me, I will give you service. If you don't pay me, I will not give you the service. That is a very, very dry engagement. And what is the big deal in that? When we're talking about personalization, you're also including certain features which are very, very specific to a set of customers. So what you can do is you can actually create a fun-filled engagement. So when the customer comes on your website, they should feel that, yes, this is the company I should deal with. they should feel very good about visiting your website or talking to somebody or engaging with you on a social media. They should actually feel there has to be a feel good factor about you. And one of the method which is very well adopted by some of these successful companies, including my company as well, is the gamification. So when you actually gamify, you have bunch of online games, and if the customer plays those games, you actually engage those customers on your website. That means more engagement will result in more business, and end of the gamification or the gamification cycle, you give certain freebies to the customer. So now what is happening is, it's not only a mundane sales purchase activity, or if you give me X money, I will give you X service, Y service, etc. It is going beyond that. Customer would like to visit your website, play a bunch of games, and after winning that game or a quiz, they can actually get a discount out of that. So then the customer would like to come back to your website and avail further discounts, so now you're actually creating a stickiness in your customer acquisition, in your customer engagement. And this actually is a game changer today. And at the same time, when you're trying to sell something to the customer, it has to be done in a storytelling style. And the storytelling is something which is gaining a lot of momentum, and storytelling is a totally different skill altogether. A lot of people are learning how to tell their stories. And well, when we say the story, it's not something that you want to give some lullaby to somebody. It has to be whatever you do in terms of your product offering, you have to convey in a very bright story-like format, because people like to get engaging content from you. If you're selling something, if your salespeople are not very interesting, if your company does not do any interesting stuff while selling the product, the chances are that you may end up losing your client, because then other guys may be providing much more engaging platform for customers to buy from them. So gamification, we have already discussed. Gamification is something which is very important to create stickiness. At the same time, how do you convey your message has to be done using advanced storytellers. So I would say that storytellers are specialized salespeople who are very good orators, who can spin different sentences, who can talk about very hard stuff, but in a very layman language, very simple language, in very interesting way, so that people understand, gel, and there is no complexity around it. And so that is why the storytelling is also coming out as a very good tool for customer engagement, customer retention. And as we progress into 2024 and beyond, the experience that customer is expecting is so immersive augmented reality experience, along with these parameters of gamification as well as storytelling. So augmented immersive, that means when they are on your website, they should be glued on to the website at least for 10-15 minutes, and in 10-15 minutes you should be able to not only convey what you want to convey, but also win their business. So that can happen if you don't let them go away from a website. So if they have reached your app, if they have reached your website, if they have reached your office, you want to ensure that they have to basically buy something from you. And that can happen only when you are convincing a client so much that they end up buying. So that immersive experience is what the expectation of today's business is. And if you just keep selling something and keep saying, hey, I'm the best, I have the best product, I have the lowest price, that is not going to cut the ice in this decade and beyond. So 2023 is a year for changeover, and the effect of whatever we are talking about today, you will definitely see in 2024. So remember, friends, customer engagement is going to change a lot. And if you do what I'm telling you to do, then your business has a chance to stay in the business. All right. Now, some of the things that we have talked today definitely require some sort of softwares, tools, and technologies, and therefore, when we're talking about the storytelling, when we're talking about centralized customer experience, we're talking about gamification, and all of these things are interconnected with your payment gateways and product pages, etc. You would need some sort of a workflow. You would need some sort of a AI, so that the customer, when they talk to you, there has to be some intelligent voice coming back. And one way of doing it is that you put human beings, but then it's going to be increase your cost a lot. So easy way is to basically do a lot of automation and also use a lot of AI. And that is where companies can reduce their cost and provide very high quality of customer engagement. Extremely high quality of customer engagement. So remember, friends, AI is important. However, AI has to be deployed adequately without understanding how you have to basically implement AI. You should not be implementing AI. So first step in automating is to basically implement a workflow solution, so that from point A to point B to point D, or point F, that has to be determined, and there has to be a workflow provided on your website, on your applications. And if there is no workflow, then you will not be able to put any AI intelligently. So make sure that you first automate all the processes, because now you're talking about gamification, talking about storytelling, you're talking about immersive experience, you're talking about unified customer exposure to all your entire company wide, also on social media. So you would need some sort of a workflow, and you should be able to capture some information, customer information, from where these guys are coming. And also, when you actually deploy AI on all these touch points, then you will be able to capture the demography of the client as well. And if you are able to capture that demography of the client, then you would need to know exactly in future that this customer has come in from a social media account, or from a website, or in premise, or on an app. So all of this data has to be collected by the workflow, and at all these touch points you will have to put AI bots who will then answer customer query. Now once you put the AI bot, then the AI would need some sort of training. So I'm not going too much in depth about AI in this particular live stream, because AI requires a little bit of training. Just like you have a human, when you actually hire a human, you would like a human to be trained for understanding your customers profile, as well as your internal company policies. So similarly, AI bot needs to be trained on what is the expectation, what the AI has to do when customer asks him a question. Remember, the generative AI, which is the trend today, is able to reply to any query very much like a human being. And with the text to voice conversion, you can choose the kind of voice you want your customers to hear when they actually dial into your company, or even on the website. You can choose all that. So AI can also become very complex, can start with basic bot, but then can be automated in such a way that all aspects of the company can be handled by the AI. Now, most important thing is when we talk about all of these changes to your company, the competition may also be doing these things. And how do you basically stay ahead of the competition? Or say, for example, if the competition is not able to do all of these things, but they are focused on some of these things. So you have to ensure that how you are going to stay ahead of the competition, because if you are implementing these things, you're obviously one side reducing your cost. At the same time, you want to spread and win more business. So therefore, one of the ways that you can do, you can actually stay ahead of the curve as compared to competition, is basically map the customer journey. Because if the customer signed up with you like today, you want to ensure that more and more value is provided to your customer, so that once, if there is a long-term customer with you, you know exactly how, through the journey of the customer and you together, how the customer benefited by using your services. So this kind of journey must be mapped in order to quantify where you have been able to provide value to the client. At the same time, if you are able to capture this journey of your customer, you can also provide improved services to the customer, because sometimes customer is unhappy, sometimes customer has more requirements which you have not contracted for. Now, in order to basically provide a better engagement, you would like to use some of these advanced tools to ensure that the customers stick around with you. And at the same time, you want to take some strategic decisions which otherwise may go overlooked if you don't have the market intelligence captured, which is customer specific, so that you can then decide if you want to provide certain services only to specific customer, or if there are set of customers who are asking the same thing, so you rather change gear of your company and implement those things now. Because if most of the customer is asking for this enhancement, that means the market is asking for enhancement. So if you have captured the journey into of your client into certain databases, then you can use the business intelligence tools to analyze the data. And when you analyze the data, there are different dashboards you can use. In fact, if the data is collected, then automatically the analytics can give you a dashboard where you don't have to physically sit and understand what is going on in your company. These dashboards will actually give you all the information that you are basically working upon. And in fact, today's environment, the analytics tools are lifetime data. So the data collection and analysis can be done in real-time basis. So all of these things are available, and you should be able to use them. And the thought process must be changed. Of the today's environment, business people, the thought process must be changed. In fact, you should actually think about these things even before you start your business. Therefore, these things will require change in thought process. And if you're thinking about employing bunch of guys and using HR processes and all that, which may not last for very long time, because if you're using AI in a big way, then the chances are that your investment and all that will have to be redone again in future. So make sure that you have a change in thought process using some of these points that I'm sharing with you. And you should be prepared to invest in technology, because without the use of technology, without proper technology, you will not be able to implement these things. So make sure that you have change in thought process. Also be prepared to open your coffers and invest in technology. Make sure that you don't go overboard. Make sure that whatever you do, whatever investment you do, has to be in line with your turnover, your actual needs, and your upscaling requirement. Because if you want to implement technology today, there is no end. You can implement what you need after 5 years. So you have to do that analysis, how much money you want to invest, and then from there how the journey will take over. So I think that is something which is important. And while doing that, you may have employee. So employee needs to be trained. Employees require a lot of information, how the different policies of your organization will be driven. Therefore, make sure that the proper learning and development is provided to your employees, so that remember I talked about the immersive experience of your client, and employee plays a major role. So if you empower your employee based on the policy framework, then employee will feel very enlightened, and they will actually go ahead and close the deals without you coming into the picture. So you kind of make a system which is self-running, and the workforce is fully motivated. At the same time, we have also invested in technology which is going to help the employees to carry out their responsibility effectively. And this is a very important aspect where I already gave you information about the business intelligence and analytics, but then you should be able to track and measure what is going on in the company, because sometimes the business may have upside and the downside. Usually these are all seasonal. In fact, even in an online business, the seasonal activities of the graph actually plays a role, which is very surprising, because if it is physical world, then there are seasons, there are festivals, there are low times and there are high times. However, when it comes to online business also, there are seasons, and typically anywhere in the world there are two seasons which are boom seasons, and there are two seasons which are low seasons for any business, for in fact every business. So if you are able to measure these seasonal cycles of your business by using some advanced tools, then it will help you to shape up your company in future also. Because as a company, you don't want to invest today and then sit and then just keep counting your revenue, because business always have competition, business always works on opportunities. Therefore you should be also preparing for future. So your role as a CEO is to think 6 months ahead. Today's business is important, so you have a measurement taken care of. However, one of the leadership quality is to think ahead, and therefore when you are thinking ahead, your bandwidth is deployed there. So you will not be able to take input if you are not measuring your success. Therefore, it is important to also implement those systems in place which will help you measure the various impact of customer, and what are the touch points at which customers are able to have confidence in your business and then end up buying from you. So this is very important, and I think these are the certain points that I shared with you, and hopefully you will be able to use some of these points, implement in your business, and succeed to change your business into much more interesting place for customers to deal with you. Just in case if you need more information about certain things, feel free to send in your request. The emails and all of these things, reach out to us, is given in the description below. So thank you friends for joining me live, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye, and have a great week ahead.